Hi, we're Stan and Debbie, and we just moved to Europe.
And in today's video, we will tell you why we sold everything to make this a reality. So of course, the decision to sell everything is not an easy one to make. We had very strong roots and we had built up, we had a home, we had a lot of personal belongings as well. So as we kind of looked these past few years, we had already started thinking about what we want to do, how we want to live our lives. And we decided, we met while we were traveling, so it was likely that travel would play a very important role in our future. And so we decided, let's look at what it would take to take a pause and experience those things now versus then putting them off till the future. So as I went through this analysis, we looked at various options and really got to sort of a decision point towards, I would say, early June. At which point we decided, we talked about it. As you all know, there was a lot of uncertainty. There still is at this point. We decided that it would be a good option to sell our house now versus waiting in an uncertain time when to a future point in time where perhaps we had to make a more of a rush decision.
Yeah.
So we decided then to put the house on the market and really sort of jump in feet first and commit to this plan to move abroad. At that point, there were still various options being looked at. So then we were very fortunate. Our house sold to the first people that walked through the door. So we were very, very thankful and frankly surprised at how easy that process went. And then had to really accelerate getting everything sold. Debbie did a great job selling yard sales and pretty much every day of the week, we had a little store in our garage where she would be selling mostly, personal belongings that she had acquired over the years.
Yeah, that was pretty. It was an awakening for me. But people had said to me, "You could sell ice cubes to an Eskimo." So actually, it was fun and it was easy to do.
Right. Yeah. So once the house was sold, we arranged for temporary housing, which enabled us to tie up a few more knots before we made the move. So ultimately sold pretty much everything. We do have some items with family still that we have in storage, but for the most part, whittled all of our belongings down to roughly 6 suitcases. Booked our first class flights over to Europe. We'll tell you more about that in a future video, but we kind of hacked our way into getting first class tickets on the plane and then made plans for the big flight and move on September 15th.
Yep. So we bought a one-way ticket to Belgium, and here we are.
So I hope you enjoyed some of the footage from the plane ride there.
I'll tell you what, can I say this? That was so awesome to be able to hit a button and the whole seat just made into a bed. I mean, we were like this.
Right.
It was so cool.
Yeah, so definitely an experience that we highly recommend. Perhaps not during these times, but something that is worth considering.
Absolutely.
If you have the means in any way you can get them, it's worth it to fly in the premium way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from our departure from the U.S., the most logical landing spot in Europe was to return to Belgium. I'm originally from Belgium, so it gives me an opportunity, both of us really, to connect again closer with family. We got to see them a few times a year in the last few years, but still it's not the same as being here for an extended period, which will enable us to kind of wrap up the final preparations as we start our traveling adventures here throughout the continent of Europe. So we are currently in the process actually of purchasing a vehicle that will be our means of getting around. So we're excited to share a little bit more with you about that once we have it in one of the future videos. We'll kind of highlight why we decided to go with this particular vehicle, etc. As I said, we're preparing. We've kind of figured out where we want to go for the next 6 to 12 months. But I'll let Debbie go into those details since it's something that she's had a huge influence on and is very excited to share.
I'm so excited. As some of you may know that are watching us and have been following us, I love to travel a lot, and Stain does too. And like he said, we haven't got to do that too much together, and so being able to do this is really, really exciting. And by purchasing the vehicle and doing road trips, that makes it where I can take, we can see more things, we can experience more things, take our time. We're not on a timeline to be anywhere at any particular time. So anyways, our first thoughts right now are stay here in Belgium, explore around this area, show you some of Belgium because it's a beautiful, beautiful country. And then after Christmas, we're going to get in the car and we're going to drive to Portugal. So we have some plans there. We're going to be there about 3 months and different parts of it. Yep. And then what we've also decided, you want to tell them about like our plan of travel, like it's going to be different.
Right. Yeah, so many of these vlogs and videos, folks that are traveling, especially US, coming to Europe, many times their first trip is sort of let's see all the big sites, let's go to many places in a short period of time.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Chevy Chase vacation. If you remember that scene, he's at the Grand Canyon. Okay, we saw it, let's go.
Yeah, so we want to avoid doing that. Yeah. In part because we've done that in the past. We've been to quite a few places here, but also because we want to really experience and discover the culture in the local areas and understand, the food as well. Yeah, food is a big part of the culture, I would say. I would not expect to see a ton of museums and things like that on this vlog. It would be mostly, connecting with the people, understanding, learning about their food, where it comes from, how it's made, why certain foods are so popular,
what their festivals are, what's going on in the area at that time. We learned in the south of France in January it's truffle season, so things like that. We just want to immerse ourselves, make some friends even, where we go to the same little pub maybe all the time and they know us by name when we walk in.
Yep. So we're expecting to stay in places between 2 and 8 weeks maybe. So we've started to look for housing arrangements that meet those requirements of ours, and we're fortunate to have found some already for Portugal. So once that draws near, we'll be able to tell you more about that. Yeah. But very excited to experience things really more in depth. So like Debbie was saying, Portugal is our first kind of country we're going to, but that doesn't mean we won't venture out into neighboring Spain to also experience a few things there. There's a few beautiful places there. We'll be there during winter time, so that will, southern Spain and Portugal will still be very nice and warm. So we won't have much of an impact from the weather. I don't think snow or anything like that will be an issue for us. So we're really excited to be able to share with you kind of what we're seeing. We're not going to make any promises as it relates to, you know, a video every day or
No.
once a week.
No.
We really want to make sure that when we share things with you through a video, it is good content, it's worth watching, versus forcing ourselves to just make video after video.
Well, because after all, we want to travel and we
Right.
want to enjoy it. So we're just doing this basically for fun, sharing it with you,
Yeah.
and we're not going to put a deadline on us.
And also for ourselves, so we can watch later and
Right.
say, oh, remember when we went to,
Yeah.
you know, Lisbon, and this is kind of when we went to on this tour, or we experienced this one thing.
Kind of a live diary.
Right. This will help us as well relive those moments
Mm-hmm.
in the future. So yeah, very excited to have multiple ways that we can benefit from spending this time recording
Yeah.
our event.
We're so excited, and you know, if you'd like to continue to follow us along on our journey, our destinations, to see where we're going, just hit that subscribe button down below, and then hit that little bell and click all, and you'll get notified every time we do put up a video.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yep.
thank you so much, and we're looking forward to you joining us on our little journeys, our little road trips.
Right.
Yeah.
More to come very soon.
Very soon.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Al. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.